This workshop is organized in the framework of a project. It's a European project called U4EU in partnership with 9 organizations from the European Union. So we have NGOs that are participating. Cross-Cultural Bridges is a partner in this project, and they are responsible for implementing this youth workshop in Amsterdam, where we came together to discuss about environmental sustainability and democracy.
Good morning and welcome everybody in the Stadshoeve. You already have noticed that we are very close to the city, but also totally in the rural area of Amsterdam. And that's also the theme of today, on how people can have a better way of living together with nature, but also with agriculture, and that everything is not black and white, but it's all interlinked. So we will do several exercises on that, and we also want to have the project of having some recommendations for the European Union and other policy levels. In cross-cultural bridges, we think that our perception of nature is that we are all part of nature, everything is nature. And also, fortunately, in the past years, this concept is becoming more and more common also in Europe, while in other countries like South America and Africa, especially with indigenous people, that people cannot imagine another kind of life, that you wouldn't be part of nature. So try to feel how it is to be a tree in the forest. And then spread out the fingers. So the leaves, so your arms are the branches, the fingers are the leaves.
We believe that youth is the future of Europe, and they need to have voice in the recommendations and at the policy level. So this is why we are organizing these workshops in different topics, in order to allow them to get a voice.
So now we're going to continue inside. What we're going to do now is a short conversation with Jiske and also Flora, because they're both working and doing research on how we can involve nature, being part of nature in especially organizations.
Hello, so I'm Jiske, and I'm currently working as a researcher for the Hague University of Applied Sciences in a project called Onboarding Nature, which is about how businesses and organizations can sort of take nature on board as a stakeholder. And before this, I did my master's in environmental sciences, and I did my thesis on rights for the River Maas, which is a river in the south of the Netherlands. So that's kind of how I got into the topic first, because there was a campaign going for that river, which is still, it's still going. The river doesn't have rights yet, but there's still a campaign going.
So I think having a community who cares for its environment is something we can take away from those indigenous philosophies, because here in the West we've become very individualized, and I think individualism of course has its perks, but I think we also need to balance that with community and care for each other and the environment.
How do we reframe these notions and preconceptions in order for it to emerge as a legal being, basically?
We are going to do a workshop with the 4 elements. You have to pick an element that you feel connected to somehow. And the next step would be a conversation. There's tarot cards on the table. What you will do as a group is to use the tarot card as a guide. And there's a question. You pick a tarot card and you pick a question and you start to have a conversation together as a group.
What lessons can I learn from the wind, the sky, or the air I breathe?
Like indirect water use, so like how much water do we actually drink with 1 cup of coffee? Like we don't really know.
There's a small place, so it doesn't mean we have boundaries, so we can always be open to new ideas, and we never have a specific definition of ourselves because we are always on the way to change.
You can know where your source of meat is coming from. Like I know the person and I know how he has the animals and he lives in the mountains, so I know the animal that I'm eating. And here I think it's more difficult to find.
Now we're actually going to focus on the recommendations for the EU. And I want to invite you guys, we placed some actor cards on the table and they have a variety of things. We have like, for example, a tree, a river, and we have 7 teams. We will give you each a paper with some guiding questions, but the basic thing is that you guys will discuss and think about your actor, what needs do they have, what challenges do they have, and then you will sit in your groups and discuss your actor with each other and maybe also already make some connections. So what relationships do we have with each other? Afterwards, you will go inside again and then we will do the mapping. So you will put your actor card on the table and you will map out which actors are close together, and you can draw, you can make connections with arrows and write about the connection. You can really do a little bit whatever you want, whatever you feel like fits in the ecosystem. We also have some extra cards. If you feel like something is missing, you can look through the extra cards. But first, I just want to invite you to take a card or an active card from the table, and then you can go outside with your group and converse, and you will each get also this explanation.
The main purpose is to bring young people together through workshops that each partner is experienced on, and to allow them to draft recommendations which are going to be presented in the European level.
Yeah, but we just be centered.
So we actually spent a lot of time, we had a lot of cards, and we spent a lot of time on the connections with ocean. So we thought that it's a really important part of the process in anything. And then the first thing we wrote down is what you could do is globally coordinate marine ecosystem preservation initiatives, because we think the ocean is actually the most important part of all ecosystems. So we should, and the ocean belongs to everybody or belongs to nobody. So it's actually really important that everybody works together on this. And you should push for initiatives in that part.
Then we also had the word fire, so production and fire. And then one reality is that in many places around the world, there's fires being imposed on purpose for the production of food. So a policy would be to increase the sanctions for starting wildfires and protecting forests.
So we should focus first of all at the local level and focus on the education, not only because people are unaware of what is happening around us. You cannot force people into thinking about what you want them to think, but you have to educate them on being sensitive about this topic as well.
We started discussing all the challenges and the opportunities, and we saw that most of them were related. The problem is they are related on different levels, basically. On the more local level or in a more international level, let's say it like that.
I think it was very useful and very impactful, this event. Also, I could see that we all are leaving from here with new ideas and new concepts in our mind and things that we can change in our daily life, but also some things that we can do at a bigger level. from starting small, we can do bigger changes. So I think it's important to have these events and to allow people to speak and to raise awareness about these topics.